Welcome to episode 1 on AI automations course using Make.com. This is your instructor Ansh Mehra, and in this video I'll take you through how Make.com works, how does Make Grid work, which is their latest feature, and how exactly can you make an automation that can help you scrape information from someone's LinkedIn profile and help you make an Excel sheet where you can track all of their numbers and metrics. Now, this is a very simple automation, but because this is episode 1, I wanted to show you how the latest features in Make can make this entire automation really simple. Now, if you're using Make for the very first time, you'd have to go to make.com and create your account. And once you have created your account, this is how the dashboard would look like. Now, I am currently on the paid plan. The free version will not give you access to Grid. So as beginners, just understand what I'm trying to do because we will start everything from basics. Now let's first understand what exactly is an automation, and even though we have covered this in detail, let's do a quick revision. Now, whenever you do any kind of a work usually has steps. So for example, if I have to check and reply to emails every day, step number 1 would be to, of course, wake up. Step number 2 would be to check my emails. And step number 3 would be to write the reply. And step number 4 is to send those replies at 10 a.m. daily. Now, this entire thing that you see, this is basically a process that I might follow again and again. And when this process is followed by a bunch of other people at scale, and when you have the entire documentation and responsibilities given to every person, right? If there is a company running and one person is responsible for just these emails, when you repeat this process again and again, it is often called as a workflow. Now, this example that I just told you right now, this is a workflow of how someone from my team might wake up every single day and basically reply to people. Now, a workflow can either be started by a human or by a non-human. And this starting point, this start of a workflow is called a trigger. In normal day-to-day office work, a trigger for you to start working would be a message from your boss. But if I want to automate this entire thing, if I want some AI inside my organization to basically check all the emails at a specific time, I will have to make a trigger which is running on automation. Now, if a trigger is happening on its own, a workflow is then called as an automation because it can be triggered automatically. Now, every single automation starts with a trigger that will just happen on its own. It can happen at a specific time. It can be triggered by a certain event in some other application. But every automation has a trigger, a logic, and an action. Now, in most cases, this trigger is automated by some other activity. And then there is a logic that you need to write that once this trigger happens, what is the logic behind all of the things? How do I comprehend the trigger? What do I make sense of it? And once you have made sense and decided what needs to be done, the next step is to actually complete the actions. Now, when we talk about actions, actions can be of many kinds and there can be multiple actions back to back as well. So let me first tell you what exactly will we build today using Make Grid. Firstly, I will make a Google Sheet. And in that Google Sheet, I will add names of people who I want to maybe scan or study on LinkedIn. Then I will use this app called Appify. And Appify will help me scan profiles on LinkedIn and basically get data from them. So Appify will tell me their name, their top 5 posts, their likes, their comments, everything, even the text that they have added onto that post. And that will help me as a LinkedIn influencer to basically analyze all of that content. My third step would be to put all of this data back into the sheet. And in the upcoming videos, I will show you how you can take all of this LinkedIn data and also convert it into a YouTube script or even a Twitter thread. So we will learn everything step by step. Now let me first introduce you to the absolute basics. So I'll come to Make again. And here, if I click on the left icon called scenarios, this is where all of our workflows are being built. Now, if I go and click on create scenario, I will see an empty workspace. And this plus button that you see in the very middle, this is me adding a module. So a final automation looks like this on Make. So let me just change the color of this. All of these things are called your modules. And these modules are nothing but basically apps. And these are different applications like ChatGPT, Google Sheets, Gmail. You can put whatever you want. Now, all of these apps communicate to each other. So can you see this communication happening? And can you see how this is the name of my app? And this is the action that I perform on the app. This entire workflow is called a scenario. Now, Make has recently announced a new feature called Make Grid, which basically makes visualization of all of these scenarios in a very cool and easy to learn way. So right now we are making something very simple, but for agencies and AI automation services, you often end up creating very complex automations, very complex workflows. And to fix all of those workflows, Make Grid basically gives you like this really good eagle's eye view of solving problems. We'll get to that in a while and I'll show you how exactly do you even use this. It's really, really cool. You will feel like a proper AI automation hacker. So just to summarize, I will now teach you an automation that will fetch profile names from a Google Sheet, find latest 5 posts of that profile by going to their LinkedIn and scraping all of that information, and then update all of the metrics and content on another Google Sheet. And by the way, there is another 24-minute long tutorial that we have already made on make.com. That's why I have hurried this entire process and quickly summarized the basics. Now, one very important guideline that a lot of AI automation tutorials don't mention is that most people directly come on Make and start making the automation, but that is not the right way. You need to first plan the automation. So if I had to plan the automation beforehand, I would basically say that, okay, I will first use my Google Sheet. Then from the Google Sheet, I will go to Appify. I will scrape all the data and then post it back into my Google Sheets. It is recommended that you first plan this on a piece of paper. Of course, this was very simple to plan, but moving forward, when the automations themselves become very difficult, it is more valuable if you can just have all of these things sorted in front of you. Now I am on my Make screen right now and I will show you how to get started. Now, as I told you that we have to make a Google Sheet. Now this Google Sheet will have the names of the people that I want to study on LinkedIn. So I will go to Google Sheet and I will simply select a new spreadsheet. And here in my sheet number 1, I will put the heading as name. Now I only need to give my Appify, which is the scraper, the name of the LinkedIn person. But one important thing to note here is that Appify will not require this name because there can be hundreds of Anshmeras on LinkedIn. I will go and copy this ID on the top, which is also called your LinkedIn ID. And this is unique. No two people on LinkedIn can have this. And I will paste this ID here and I will name the spreadsheet as LinkedIn Sheet 1. And I will make another sheet and here I will put the LinkedIn name, maybe post text, the number of likes it has received, the comments it has received, and any media that this LinkedIn post might have. So I can study this person in utmost detail. Now, if I go here to Google Sheets, you will find that for this specific application, there are a bunch of different actions that you can perform. Now, the action that I will add is called watch every new row. What that means that if I type watch, this will be triggered anytime a new row is added to my Google Sheet. Now, when you do this for the first time, you'll have to go here and click on add and simply sign in with Google. So you just need to sign in with the account that has your sheet. That is very simple. And here in my search method, I can select from all. And here I can either put my spreadsheet ID or I can enter it manually as well. Now, where is your spreadsheet ID? It is this long, this part from this part. But let me show you even an easier way. So if I select search by path, I will simply go and select drive. And here I will simply go and type the name of my sheet. So I can simply go here and type LinkedIn sheet 1. It'll take a few seconds and then let me just bring this here. Then it will ask me for the sheet name. Now this is going to be the sheet that will give my automation the names of the people. So I will select sheet 1 because that is where I will put all the names. And then I have my sheet name ready and it says table contains headers. This will be yes, because yes, I have kept all of my headers right here. So as you can see, this is going to be my header. This you can let it be untouched. And this is the maximum number of results that you want to be executed. So let's just keep this at 5. and I will click on save. Now it has opened up a new window that says choose where to start. Now I will select all because I want to select everything that is inside this sheet, and I will click on save. Now as soon as this is done, if I click on run once, you will see that initialization has been done, and in my operation, it has now created this output that name is Ansh Mehra, row number 2 and spreadsheet ID. Now we need to send this LinkedIn ID to a scraper. What is a scraper? A scraper is basically an app that can go to a website and get content from me. Now I will show you a free website that has a lot of these scrapers available for free. So the name of this website is called Appify, and I will simply go and click on login, and I have already created an account, so I will simply go and continue with Google. Now as soon as you log into Appify, it will take you to console.appify.com. And on the very left side, you will see this thing called Appify Store. Now this is where you will get a bunch of different scrapers, free scrapers and paid scrapers. Because this is a beginner's tutorial, I will simply go ahead with a free scraper that we have already tested, and you need to type LinkedIn no cookies. Within LinkedIn no cookies, you can see that you have this LinkedIn profile reactions, LinkedIn profile comments, LinkedIn job details. There's like a bunch of different things that you can use. The one that you need to search for is LinkedIn profile post scraper no cookies. Now, as soon as you have selected LinkedIn profile post scraper, you will have to go to this JSON file and keep this code with you. And don't worry, I will explain you everything one by one. So now I will simply go here to my make. I will click on plus, and here I will select Appify. Now in Appify, I need to select run an actor. Now I'm pretty sure you're wondering that Ansh, you just told us that we are getting a scraper, then why is this called an actor? Because an actor can do everything that a scraper can do, but also do modifications and run API calls. Like, it's way more superior to just a scraper. So within Appify, they call their enhanced, more powerful scrapers as actor. So I will select run an actor, and now I have already connected my Appify to make. But when you do this for the very first time, you will have to click on the add option, and here in the connection type, you will have to select Appify API token. Now, to connect your Appify account to your make, you have to come back to your console, and here in my settings panel, you need to go and click on API and integrations. And then you have to click on create a new token. And you can add some description if you want. So I will simply type new 24 and I will click on create. As soon as I do that, I can simply copy this right here and paste it here in my API token, and you can put it a name as well. So I have already done it, so it is already done for me. Now you can search your actors either from the Appify store actor or from recently used. Because you'd be using this for the first time, there would be nothing as recently used. So you'd have to search from the Appify store actor. And then here I will simply type LinkedIn, and the name of my actor is, let's come back here, LinkedIn profile posts. So I will type here LinkedIn profile scraper no cookies. So now it will take a bit of time, and let me just put this window here, and let me just drag my video on the left side so that you don't get distracted. And now in my input JSON, this is where you need to basically transfer all of your data. Whatever you're getting from your Google Sheet, you have to put here. Now, if I delete this username, you can see that there is this window that has opened up from the left side, and this is all the data that we are getting from Google Sheet. So now I will drag this name and put it within the double quotes of username. Now you don't need page number because every data which is available on the profile, I just want to scan the first page. So I will simply delete page number, and in my limit, I will only scan 5 posts. Now, if I were to come back here on my Appify and show you my actor, if I go to the JSON file, this is the same content that it has added here as well. Why? Because I have already put a profile name. I have put the page number, which is at 1 only, it's optional. And then the result limit is also 5. So it means that this JSON will only work for Ansh Mehra, but I want this automation to work for any person I give. And that person is coming from Google Sheets. In fact, you can also make a column here on number of posts, and you can transfer that number also into Appify. So even this limit can be dynamic. Then here in run synchronously, you have to say yes. This will basically make sure that anytime you are running this scenario, it will wait until the actor has finished. So just make sure you select yes on this, and I will click on save. Now you can see that the value must not be empty. So there is one value here which is empty. So let's see if we have put that here, and let me click on save again, and now run this. So now it has run something, and once I come here, you can see that Appify is ready. Now there is one important thing that you all will miss. This is only going to run the automation and progress when a new row has been added to my sheet. But I have not added anything, so it will not even go ahead. So here, if I were to say checkout Tanmay Bhatt, right? And if I were to copy the URL of his ID name, so I'm going to take this and do Command C and put it right here. Now when I run, you will see that even my Appify is loading because I have added a new row. Now remember what I told you. So let's come back to our slides. So we have discussed all of these things working together. Please make sure that you always add a new ID, the Excel sheet. You drag and drop the dynamic item and you keep saving things again and again. Now, why is saving again and again important? Because Make will send a request to its backend to save all of this automation. There is no auto save here. So please make sure that you keep clicking on save. So now that my actor has run, my next step was to get all of this data and put it back into my Google Sheet. But I can't do that until unless I have received all of this data from my actor. So now I will go again and add a new module in Appify. And this time I will select get dataset items. Now here also my connection is going to be ready, and I have to now tell this new module as to what is my dataset ID. Now please be very careful that you have to scroll to the very bottom, and here you will see this thing called default dataset ID. You have to drag and drop this here, and that is all. And limit here can be 5 because I just want 5 things. As soon as I click on save, I have to add one more person. So I've been adding different people again and again just to test those things. And let me put Om's profile. He's one of our team members at the Cutting Edge School. So I'll just go here and put it like this. And as soon as I click on run once, you will now see my Google Sheets run. Then my Appify actor will run and get all of the data, and then Appify dataset will get all the items. So everything has been running pretty seamlessly. And if I click on this icon right here, you will see that in my input, I gave this specific dataset ID. This dataset ID basically has all of the information from Ohm's LinkedIn, and all of this text content. If I go to stats, my likes, my comment, funny, everything, repost, everything is now in one single place. Now I want all of this information to be put back into my Google Sheet. So I will now go to Google Sheet, and this time I will say add a row. And again, I will simply go here and let's go to search by path, my drive, and here I will select LinkedIn sheet 1, and in my sheet 1 all of my content is in basically sheet number 2. So I will now select sheet number 2. Table contains headers. Yes, it does. And now it is asking me that what all values do you want to put in these headers. So these are all of the headers that I have put in my sheet number 2. It has already scanned that information. And now what I can do is I can go to my Appify, and can you see how it has put the first name of that person? So if I go here to this Appify, you can see that I can see every single content that has come here. So if I go here to get dataset item, you will see that there's a profile URL, first name, and the stats as well. So if I go and select Ansh, and then let's go here to the text for my post text. For my likes, I will go to stats and simply take my likes, and then number of comments. And if I want to put any media, I can also put the media URL, which is right below here. And that's all. I'll simply click on save. Now to again run this, I need to try something new, right? So if I go and let's just try Ansh Mehra again, and let's go here. Ansh Mehra 24. I'm just revising so that all of you know. And then I'll simply put Ansh Mehra on row number 8. And as soon as I run once, it'll now go to my Appify. And this is really beneficial for anybody who's planning to build a personal brand. You can actually run this on my profile, on any person's profile. And you will see it has run it 5 times. And if I click on this operation, you will see all of the values that it has added. And once I come to my sheet number 2, check this out. My post, likes, comments, and the media, everything is scraped perfectly. Now, in the upcoming episodes, I will show you how you can further supply this information to ChatGPT, because students, remember something. This is extremely important for you to all understand that what I have just shown you right now is a workflow, and I am still triggering this entire automation manually. But you can run this automation every 15 minutes as well. So this is currently still an automation because there is no AI that we are using here right now. This is just normal tech happening. These are just API calls. But moving forward, if I were to introduce a chat GPT module inside of it, then this suddenly becomes an AI automation. So step number 1 for you was to just understand how Make works. And if you want to troubleshoot, this is where things become very interesting. If I click on grid, I can now see all of my automations, AI automations, data transfer, all of my scenarios that I have created in a very cool 3D form. So it's like a bird's eye view of all the automation. So it's loading my entire organization, and check this out. I can see one of my automations for Heartfulness Academy. I can see my lead generation. I can also see one of the automations I had created with ChatGPT as well. And finding errors and seeing the supply of data becomes so seamless. So if I were to close the tip section, I can also see the 3 objects that require my attention. Check this out. And I can also ask them to just tell me the operation layer or the data transfer layer, how much data is being sent. And it is so cool because troubleshooting in this way becomes extremely simple, especially when you enter really complex automations. So let me also just put my video here on the top right corner. And here I can switch between the 2D view and the 3D view. I can also go into the dashboard mode, which is like a proper full screen mode. I can also switch between light mode and dark mode. And of course, I can zoom in and zoom out. If you have multiple teams, and all of those integrations can be linked to each other, and you can actually visualize how all of these different automations and scenarios are working with each other. So if I go to the filter panel, I can see only my active scenarios. I can also see just my inactive scenarios. And these are all the scenarios that we have created in our organization. So can you see how beautifully it has created a summarization of all the things that we are working with, and all of these scenarios can talk to each other. Now, students, you need to understand that this is the future of how work will evolve moving forward. And let me just put the first point here. The world will no longer be split between technical and non-technical people, but it will be split between AI builders and AI operators, which means that moving forward, you will be responsible to not just manage people, but also such automations. We understood that Make has scenarios and modules. I showed you how you can connect your API from Appify to your Make. And in the end, I also showed you how Make Grid can actually help you simplify a lot of your troubleshooting problems. Now, students, this is our first episode. I wanted to give you like a quick intro of how these things work, and let me know in the comment section if this lean edit makes more sense to you, this classroom mode makes more sense to you. I want to make sure that we make less dopamine oriented content and more value focused content, where we focus more on education and less on dopamine, because I am also looking forward to teaching students who are more sincere and they want content over editing, content over high production. It's easy for us also, it's more budget friendly for us also. So yes, let me know in the comment section if you want more such videos. Check out Make as soon as you can, because it is one of the most leading tools in the market. It is the most cutting edge tool right now. Way simpler to use than N10. N10 seems very intimidating to a lot of people, but look how cool and seamless this is. With this, we wrap up the first episode. There will be more episodes if we get a good response on this free AI automations course. Don't forget to click on subscribe and let me know if you put some notes on social media. Tag us. I would love to see what you've made. So that is how you can create your first automation in Make. And alongside, you also saw how Make Grid works. And we have showed you a different example here, but the idea is the same. that it helps you sketch and visualize your workflows before you build them. In the next two videos of this series, we'll go even more deeper. First, into building a LinkedIn auto posting agent, and then into a query handler agent that can reply to all of your emails automatically. If you'd like to try make yourself, the link to sign up is right at the top of the description. And if you're a new user, you'll also get 1 month free of the pro plan when you join through our link. I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your friend Ansh Mehra, and you are learning from the Cutting Edge School.